Hey guys, it's Kim Snyder from the Voice Club. Happy 4th of July! I wanted to share something special with you for our nation's holiday. Now, for our fans from other countries, you're going to find some really great vocal styling tips in a little behind the scenes video I'm going to show you today. And for our US fans, not only are you going to get those styling tips, but this is a song that should mean something to you, that should get you thinking about how you sing the National Anthem or any other song when you do some vocal styling. Now, today I've decided to not tell you how to do something, but to show you a little video of a recent session with my student Steve Garavito and myself. He's working through the National Anthem, the U.S. National Anthem, and we've been working on vocal styling. This is how you add your own flavor to a song. A lot of us know vocal styling is trills and high notes and ta-da and whiz bangers, but there's a whole lot more that goes into it, as you'll see in this tiny little behind the scenes look at vocal styling. Now, I apologize ahead of time that it's really hard to hear Steve in this video, so you'll have to do this a little bit and then back off when I talk because I'm loud, right? But listen to the thing that Steve does that is the single best vocal styling choice and explanation I've ever heard. I hope you enjoy it.
Oh, say can you see by the dawn early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight last gleam, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous night o'er the ramparts were so gallantly streamed, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, through the night, that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that Star Spangled Banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Play ball! One of the first things I loved about it is the way that you approach the word proud. It was very proud. And I mean, proud is proud, just like loud is loud, but everybody has their own little twist on it, and it was very Steve proud.
Proud.
It's very Steve proud. It's like, take that. So I like that. You broke some of my cardinal rules for which is what everybody does, and I'm going to point them out to you and tell you why I believe they're just so wrong. Everything's an artistic choice, but there are certain things in certain songs I think are just wrong, either because it does something bad for your voice, which is not the case in the case of what I'm going to talk to you about, but sometimes because it does not have anything to do with sticking to the integrity of the song. It is done because you've heard so many other people do it that way. But if you were telling the story of the song, you would never do that. That's what I call breaking a cardinal rule. It's not my opinion of how you should style a song, but there are things that don't ring true to the integrity of the song. Then why on God's green earth are you doing it?
Okay.
And you're going to hear some of them today. So, right out of the gate, you were chopping up some sentences. There are reasons to chop up sentences, stylistically and storytelling-wise. You chopped up some without any purpose. You were running out of breath sometimes because you didn't have good chord closure soon enough. You did a really beautiful slide into glare, which I thought was very, very nice.
Mhm.
And the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air. You gave a nice little to burst, which was nice. I could hear the fireworks display in my head. You got super quiet on Gave Proof to the Night. Now, while that was a beautiful thing that you did and it sounded lovely, I want to know why you chose to get really quiet on that line.
Because probably, let me turn this down. Probably because I served in the military.
Yes.
And yeah, the red glare and the bombs bursting in air, people are getting killed.
Yes.
And all of that is, the bottom line of all that is, it's the following morning. And it's, to me, that's a very solemn moment. It gave proof that we're still there. It should be quiet.
That is the best
that's why I did it that
explanation
way.
I've ever heard for a styling choice.
You said, I'm sorry, had you turned down too low? I missed
Well,
that.
it's a compliment. You want to turn this up. I said that's the best that's the best reason for a styling choice I've ever heard.
Yeah, I mean, the dynamics of the bombs bursting and everything, that's big. But the aftermath is silence. You know, it's sort of the morning, the fog's lifting, it's total quiet, and it's, to me, it's a very quiet moment.
You have forever changed the way that I will see that line.
So that's why I did it that way.
That was beautiful. I know that you made a styling choice there. I made a note to ask you why. And I wasn't sure you'd have a reason, but like I said, I am shocked, surprised, and I was wrong. That is the best explanation for a styling choice I've ever heard, and it makes absolute sense. Which is why I'm going to slap you for something you did at the end of this song. Okay. Okay. You had a beautiful moment to set up Oh Say Does That Star Spangled Banner. And you started it off strong with Oh Say Does That, whatever key you were in. But you could have given that much more impact. You know, it's like when the big kaboom, kaboom, kaboom goes off and then it just kind of trails off. Mm-hmm. And then a big one comes, even if it's not bigger, it sounds bigger. So you stylistically did the big boom on Oh Say, but because you hadn't let the other one trail off long enough, it didn't have as much kabam as it could have. The land of the free. This is our ta-da. This is when we fly the flag, right? The land of the free. This should be a slow down in my mind. I just don't think, keeping to the integrity of the song, there's any other thing. I mean, there are lots of other things we could do on top of slowing down stylistically, but I believe that to keep to the integrity of the national anthem, we have to slow down and fly the flag at that point. And I wrote that you broke the cardinal rule after that, but that was on the line before. I was trying not to type while you were singing. Okay, so oh, say does that star spangled banner yet
I'm supposed to breathe there?
Okay, think about this.
Split Star Spangled Banner?
Everybody breathes there. Here's why people breathe there. One of two reasons, and sometimes both. Either it's because they've always heard it done that way and they just do it because they've heard it that way, which is many people, but most of them do it for the other reason, or both, and that is because they've run out of air.
Right.
If you have good technique and good chord closure, you don't have that excuse. So if we now take away the excuse that you don't have to gasp for air there because you've got good chord closure, because you've built the vocal muscles to do that, if you take away that excuse, then all you're left with is what you're supposed to be left with, and that is to say, what does that line say? Oh, say does that star spangled banner yet wave? If you were going to say that in a conversation, there's no way you're going to put a big chop and breathe in the middle of it, especially at spangled yet wave.
Yeah.
Sometimes breaths are determined by melodic structure and where the rests are and all of those things. You kind of, it changes where a natural breath would be like in conversation when there are notes and rests attached to it. It's true. But, and in the case of this, if you have the chord closure, which, by the way, you do, if you have the chord closure, because you have the vocal muscle, there is no excuse for breaking up that sentence, because you are not telling the story at that point. You're just copying what somebody else did. Even if you copy what somebody else did because, and they were a brilliant storyteller, then you just retell somebody's story. But you don't tell your own story, your own version of that story, which is the national anthem is the story of our nation, but the national anthem should, and especially to somebody who's served, should have a very unique special meaning, and it clearly does because of your styling choices earlier on. So that's why I was going to slap you for what you did at the end of this song. Then you've just taken yourself out of what was it like, what do I feel about my country, and put it back into how have I heard people sing this song.
So did that make you think a little bit about some of the choices that you make when you're styling a song? I hope it made you think about going beyond trills and runs and the special things we think of that make us a great singer, and instead make you think about, how do I tell this story like me? Because there are lots of people that can do trills. There's lots of people. There'll always be somebody who sings better than you. Doesn't matter who you are. There will always be somebody who does something better than you. Bar none. But only you can tell the story from your perspective, your way. So that's something that makes you unique. If you found any of this storytelling stuff really interesting, I wanted to tell you, in August we're doing something really cool. We're launching online group classes. This will be the first time that you'll be able to attend classes online, get some personal private help along with the group, and we'll go through topics. And I tell you this because one of the classes that we're going to teach is a vocal styling class. We'll go through the rules and the tools, and not only just all those things that you can pick from, but how to deconstruct so that you can design a song and make it unique to you every single time. Doesn't matter if it's covers, National Anthem, or unique original stuff. How you do that. That's part of our online group classes. So if you want to find out about that and get on our list for that, thevoiceclub.com. Go there and check it out. Happy 4th of July, everyone, from all of us here at The Voice Club.